Hey, family, welcome to How Love Works, where we talk about the principles for lasting love. Well, just as I promised, I think this is part two. We're going to be talking about how to speak to a man's heart, and I want to get right into it and have a lot of information here. I pray that I don't give a little. I don't want to overkill. I really don't. So I'm going to go ahead and get started as quickly as I can here. What I want to do is I want to recap what I talked about last time. I gave you guys 14 no-nos, if you will, things that you might want to avoid when you're talking to men. And it will, the way you relate to a man, whether he is masculine or feminine, has a masculine or feminine personality type. Some might say energy. Whatever is comfortable for you in terms of helping you to understand that dynamic is fine. But at the end of the day, all men are driven by one or the other. I suppose that we have probably a pretty good mix of, of masculine and feminine driven men. I happen to be more masculine driven. I derive a little bit more pleasure out of giving than receiving. And so um, and even some of the other benefits of the masculine driven man. So, what I want to say to you is that one of the things that I tried to convey last time we talked about this subject, and the reason I gave you those 14 no nos or things that you never want to try to say or do with a man, especially a masculine man, is because the biggest problem that women have with relating with men is emasculating men. And a lot of it is primarily due to their lack of understanding the sensitive hearts of men. Because, see, the way my biblical training has taught me is that you got to remember, I mean, you don't have to believe anything I'm about to say here, and that's fine. You can totally dismiss it. But I'm just giving you a context, a worldview, a lens to look through and look behind the curtain and see what I'm referring to when I'm giving my information. See, I believe that what God did is he took one man and he separated that man out. And what you have is you have benefits of that one man in the body and the soul and the spirit of one, and benefits of that same one man in the body and the soul and the spirit of the other man. And as far as men are concerned, on the outside, we're physically strong. We can be very aggressive. We have a lot of different benefits, and also we have a lot of different liabilities. I can say the same thing for women. They have a lot of benefits and liabilities. One of the things that women have is they have a lot of emotional strength. They're like rocks, like the Rock of Gibraltar, what I used to see when I was in the Navy, when we would go during the Mediterranean cruises and we would see the Rock of Gibraltar. And then, it was fascinating when I was a young man seeing that coming from the city of Detroit. And that's how women are emotionally very, very, very strong on the inside, okay, emotionally. While at the same time, men are very soft and squishy on the inside. But the way we relate to that and the way we respond and react with our emotions can be very aggressive. But we are very soft and squishy on the inside. So, that being said, emasculating a man is very easy to do, understanding that reality. So, what it is emasculation of a man, you will see it manifested in three different ways. A lot of times it's putting men down, and there's various ways to do that. Commanding and demanding, various ways of doing that. Nagging and criticizing, various ways of doing that. Now, one of the other things I want women to try to avoid is by understanding this dynamic is emasculating men brings out the worst in men. That's why you want to give it up. You don't want to do it. That's number one. Number two, emasculating men from a woman's perspective. I'm saying it in the way I'm about to say because this helps, I hope, helps women, you ladies, to understand what happens inside of us. It hurts our feelings. And it may come out gruff, mean, hurtful, but our feelings were hurt. All right. And so that's what emasculating does to us. Emasculating makes us feel less than a man. And so it creates distance. All right. So now here's a big takeaway, ladies. If you have to emasculate your man, then you got real issues. If you have to emasculate your man to try to control him, to try to change him, to do whatever it is you're trying to do, then you either have a little boy or you're ignorant and you don't know what you're doing and you don't need to be in a relationship with anyone. That's just my thought, just my opinion. All right. Now, one of the things you have to do before we get started here is you have to make a determination. You know, what personality type do you have? That's very important. You need to make a determination. What type of personality type do you have? The reason that's important is because that's going to direct how you're going to communicate to your man. Now, I will say this going forward. I will say this. This is not something that you cannot overcome. But the direction that I am going, or the information that I am going to give you is going to be focused for the feminine-driven woman, or the woman with a feminine-driven personality type. A woman with a masculine-driven personality type can still use this information. It will still work. But the problem is that because she has a masculine-driven personality type, it's going to give her a little bit more. She's going to have a little bit more of a difficult time using it because it may conflict with her value system. She's more masculine driven, so she would have a difficult time putting herself in that feminine space. That's all I'm saying. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just it might give her a little bit more. She may be a little bit more conflicted. Now, here's how you know if you're one of the other personality types as a woman. Okay, I'm gonna try to zip through these. Okay, now if you're a feminine driven, personality type, this is what you like. You like men and you enjoy receiving from them. That's number one. You respect a man who is in charge and makes decisions that benefit both you and him. Number two. Number three, you feel at ease with a man who cherishes your feelings. Number three, you instinctively want to respect good men, not boys, not conflicts, not convicts. All right. You don't want to deal with these raggedy type of men. There's no sense of dealing with them, right? You don't want to stay with a bad man in order to fix them. All right. You feel right at home with a man who protects you and will put himself in the face of danger to make sure you feel safe. You enjoy doing things for men to show them your appreciation in regards to your generosity towards you, not sex. You enjoy being pampered and have no problem saying yes, please, thank you to men offerings when it doesn't make you okay. Saying yes, please, thank you to men's offerings when it doesn't make you feel uncomfortable, right? And you have no problem saying no when something makes you feel uncomfortable. And last but not least, you put yourself first and take care of yourself and your needs. All right. That's a feminine driven type personality. Now, for the masculine driven type personality female, you like to lead the relationship. That's not wrong. All right. You like to have you like to have a partner who will follow your lead. You enjoy being gracious. You enjoy being generous with your time, talents, and treasures and energy toward him. All right. You like to get into debates with men and like to show off your knowledge. You like to win, and competition with your man is a turn on. You like to protect and cherish your man's life. You are self-sufficient, self-contained, and can take care of yourself and your man. You like to take care of your man's feelings and make sure he feels good about himself and the relationship. You feel good when your man respects your leadership and makes you feel even more lovable toward him when he respects your direction choices. All right. Now, based on that, you should have some concept or some idea of how you are going to relate to your man. Now, I'm going to give you the information in the words that I think will help you to relate better with men. First of all, let me give you some a basic, I guess I say a primer, a framework is a better term to help you to outline how to use these words. First of all, it's only 5 things. Number one, what you want to do is first identify your issue. Anytime you have a problem, anytime you have an issue, what you want to do is if you're dealing with some of the basic things that women are always dealing with when it comes to their partners, like a lot of women maybe wanting to talk about something that's bothering them or their partner. They want their man to fix something like the car or something in the house, or they want their man to do something like walk the dog, take the trash out, maybe cut the grass, whatever. They want their man to give them something like a back rub or a trip or commitment, whatever the case may be. First of all, identify the problem, identify the issue. That's number one. All right. Then you need a great ask. You need to learn how to give a great presentation. I hate to make it sound like you're in a business meeting and everything, but in a sense, that's kind of what you got to do. You know, you're not tap dancing or anything, and it's not about the man's ego. But I'm telling you, ladies, this is the stuff that you don't know. I'm telling you, you don't have to be all elaborate or anything like that. But you need to be able to phrase your needs, wants, and desires in a form of a question and the benefits that he might derive as a consequence of fulfilling a need or providing a need or desire or want. You have to maybe uh, put this in the form of an observation or a request. So a question, an observation, or a request. All right. Now, some of the benefits that you can also offer this brother would be anything from food, hanging out with his friends, playing his little video games without, constantly asking for attention or whatever, or asking him to do something for you. Verbal validation, something shiny is what I like to say, a little piece, whatever the case may be. And then once you do that, number 3, shutty. Don't say nothing. Number 4, let him figure it out and let him do it his way, right? And number 5, reward him and let his pleasing you be pleasing for him. Let his pleasing you be just as pleasing for him. All right. Now, here are the 5 words. Here are the 5 words and 6 phrases. There are a lot more, but there's just a multiplicity of ways of using. Now, just let me help you help with these words. You know all of them. You know all the phrases already. You know them all. All right. Now, the bottom line is these words and phrases, they trigger, especially in a masculine man like me, they trigger problem solving. A man wants to problem solve, especially a masculine man, and he's going to want to please you, right? And he's going to want to provide. Those big things are going to happen if you use these words. It's going to these are trigger words. And then you start to use them in various different formats to influence the man at the heart level, to allow him to make the decision on his own. Because if you are a feminine driven woman, then you are not going to violate his right to choose. And you're not going to be angry if he chooses not to provide it. Okay, here we go. Word number 1, would, W-O-U-L-D. Word number 2, I told you, you know all these words. Please. Word number 3, help. Word number 4, need. Word number 5, problem. Would, please, help, need, and problem. All right. Now, like I said, they influence us. I give you some examples. Don't worry. I'm trying to zip through this stuff because I might end up having to make another video. I don't really want to, but I might have to because it doesn't look like I'm giving you everything you really need, in terms of examples, because I got almost 40 years of examples. I know this stuff works. All right. The phrases, all 6 of the phrases goes like this, and you can mix and match them. All right. That will make me happy. All right. Thank you. Here's one you hardly hear a woman probably say, but I apologize. I apologize, right? When you have time. Number 4, I like your advice. Number 5, I like your advice. Or, that's some good advice. And number 6, what do you need from me to give me what I need? What do you need from me to give me what I need? Now, you can say that any way you want to say it. All right. Now, let me give you some examples, some simple examples. Like, for instance, you may have a deal with a man, and like you might say, well, why can't I just say the word could? Because in our head, when I hear the word could, it goes in my head, and because men are so literal, we immediately hear that word could, and we say to ourselves, also, I'm inadequate. Now, I know as a woman, you don't think of it in those terms. You don't even it doesn't even register in your mind. But men are literal, and we're single focused, and we're nothing like you. And I say it all the time, but I know you don't believe me. But you have been getting you've been getting terrible, terrible, terrible advice. I'm giving you advice from somebody who's been in partnership for a long time, right? Another 10 years, it'll be half a century. I'm telling you, ladies, all right? I'm telling you, you have to make a decision. If you're going to be a feminine woman, you cannot make decisions for your man. You just can't do it. You have to be patiently passive. I hate to use that phrase, But for a feminine woman, she doesn't make her man's decision. What she does is she wants the man to respect, and I'm sorry, to cherish her feelings. And so she speaks to him in those terms. If she feels uncomfortable about anything or her feelings, she lets him know. Now, if he cherishes her feelings, he makes that decision. You don't make it for him. That's why when you're dating him, if you find that he's not respecting your feelings, or put it this way, I keep saying respecting, but he's not cherishing your feelings, then you don't need to try to form a relationship with that brother. What are you wasting your time for, right? So let's say, for instance, my wife, if she would ask me, could I take out the trash? Of course I can. Next. But if she would have asked me, would you take out the trash? That would make me very happy. Because I want to please my wife, and she's following those 5 guidelines that I gave you. Not that you necessarily have to do it, but she's being clear. She's telling me what she wants. And because I want to please her, right, then I'm more than willing to provide that, because I'm going to please her. Now, the reward I get typically from my wife is thank you. And that's all I need. I just want to be appreciated for the effort. Because with our relationship, it has nothing to do with earning, because earning has to do with expectation. And expectation just fuels more expectation. Whereas when you have an agreement, which is what we have a covenant, then it's based upon accountability and responsibility. So it's based upon effort. And so all the effort that I provide, all of it is counted, no matter how big, no matter how small, right? So let's say my wife wants to go somewhere, because my wife's the feminine in our relationship. I'm the masculine. So let's say my wife wants to go somewhere like, I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples, and I'll let this video go because it's too long already. And I knew it would be, because I knew I wouldn't be able to give all the examples I need to give. And I feel bad because I know I couldn't go into detail. I want to. It would take an hour or more with this subject. But I'll give you 2 examples and I'll shut it down. Just a couple of days ago, actually, I think it was Sunday, my wife had some people that was going to come by. And at that time, the yard wasn't looking that great. And my wife she wanted the yard to look, be straight, cut, all that whole, that kind of thing. Now, the typical female would just be assertive. She just, hey, the yard need to be cut. When you gonna cut? That kind of stuff. I'm telling you right now, that ain't gonna work. Now, I know some of you are listening to me, and a lot of things are going through your head. And I just told you from the outset, in the inside, we're like Jell-O, soft and squishy. That's how we're made. We don't have nothing to do with that. Just like you guys are hard as rocks on the inside, right? That's why women can take all the nonsense they take from some of these idiots they get involved with, because they're emotionally powerful. They're strong. Men are opposite. That's why we can't put up with a lot of nonsense. Women cheat on us, we done. Can't take it, right? Let me go to what happened. Okay, so what does my wife do? She uses one of those trigger words. she uses one of those trigger words, and one of her favorite phrases is, man, I love it when you make the house and the yard look great. I mean, you just do such a great job. And she's telling the truth. She does love it. She just goes, she raves about it. Oh, you just said, she said, and I would really love it. It would really make me feel good if you would um, take care of the yard this weekend. We got some people coming by. It would really make my day, babe. And you think about it. She didn't make me do it. She didn't bring it up no more. What do you think I did? Came home after working Saturday. Actually, no. I said it was Sunday. Um, Actually, it was Saturday. It wasn't Sunday because I worked on Saturday. I went in, did a little overtime. It was actually Saturday, not Sunday. I worked. I came home. What do you think I did? I jumped on my little riding lawnmower, cut the front, cut the back, trimmed, did the whole deal. What do you think my wife did? What do you think my reward was? I'll tell you. My wife came over to me. She kissed me on the cheek. She said, "Thank you, sweetheart. That makes me feel so good. Thank you." That's all I needed. Now, for some guys, you would think, "Oh man, come on, man. That ain't." Most guys don't never get anything remotely like that. And the last thing I'll say, and then I'll wrap it up, because I talked too far and too long, went too far and talked too long. Uh, my wife, she wanted to go to a uh, a play, a symphony. That's what it was. I hate them things. I mean, I just hate them. She loves those things. Listening to the real orchestra and all of that stuff. I didn't want to go. Now, I didn't have to go. It wouldn't have been an issue. My wife don't act like a big baby when I say no, because I have in the past. But uh, she said, you know, "When's the last time you seen me in that black dress that go down here?" And I said, "I don't remember." She said, "That dress that you like, and then she rubbed my hand. I said, "Okay, what's up? What's up? What's up, girl? What you trying to do here? Don't start nothing. You can't finish, all right?" And she said, "Well, there's a symphony that's going to be here in Virginia, and man, what do you think about taking me?" Well, I haven't really thought about it. I said, "Well," she said, "give it some thought, because it's going to be 2 days from now at 6, 7 o'clock, and let me know if that's something you'd be interested in doing, taking me, you know." And so I gave her a text. The next day, I said, "Well, yeah, let's go, let's go." And as long as if I go to sleep on you or whatever, you're not gonna be losing your mind. She said, "No, no, I'll be good." We ended up going. Me and the guy next to me, we both fell asleep. But I listened to about 98, 95% of it. That's just a simple example. Those are simple. I could go further, further, further. There's other ways, phrases and stuff that you can use. Take those words and use them and mix them and match them and everything. But it's just too much information. I'm talked too long. What is it, 30 minutes now almost? It's, oh man, I'm sorry. I wish I can go into more detail, but those are the kinds of words that you use that trigger. And those are some of the examples that my wife uses on me and my son. If you use those words, and the main thing you just got to remember is anytime you use the words, make sure you use those 5 guidelines that I gave you, and make sure, being a feminine woman, you never try to manipulate or make the guy do something that he doesn't want to do, and never get all upset and crazy. Smile when you ask for whatever it is you're asking for. And if they say no, be good with it. Because if you say no for something that he's asking for, you expect him to be good with it. Respect your choice. If you're not comfortable with it emotionally, you don't need to do it. If he's asking you to do something that's immoral or unethical or unsafe, you shouldn't do it. And if he asks too much, you shouldn't even be dealing with him. That's just the way I see it. So I'm sorry that unfortunately, this is a long video, but I just want to give you the little bit I can on the issue. And I'm going to go ahead on and shut it down. That's my time. I thank you for yours. I catch you on the other side. God bless you.